Okay, so today's topic of discussion is communication. I personally feel like in a relationship, communication is important, and obviously it is, but the reason why I feel like it's important is because without communication, there is no trust. And yeah, that's a little cliche, and I understand that, but it's true because if you're supposed to be my man and you say that you love me, but yet there are times where I notice that your energy isn't the same, and I ask you, bae, what's wrong? And you say, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, that's cool. You don't have to talk about it if you're really upset. But the next day, you have to talk about it. If you're going to be in a relationship, you have to be open with your partner. Because if you're not 110% open, how can your partner extremely trust you? I can't trust somebody who is only giving me bits and pieces about their past or things that they've been through. Like, I personally can't do that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I personally can't trust somebody who's giving me bits and pieces. Like, okay, they tell me a little bit about their past, but not quite. And I understand there's some things that people like to take to the grave. But at the end of the day, I don't, me personally, I want to get to know every aspect detail about my partner before I enter a relationship. Because if I don't know every aspect detail, I'm going to think you're hiding something. And when I think you're hiding something, even if it's small, I'm going to think you're hiding even more than what you could be hiding. So without no communication, there's no trust. And it goes the same thing for females. They walk around the house, say you live with your girlfriend or even live with your wife, and she comes home at work from work and she has a bad day, and she's coming home slamming pots and pans, slamming kitchen counters, slamming the door, stomping her feet, and etc etc, and you go to say, babe, what's wrong? She, in her mind, she feels as though you are automatically supposed to be a mind reader and know what's wrong. That's not necessarily true. People don't read minds. So that's like going up to your local Wendy's or McDonald's and they ask you, welcome to Wendy's, how may I take your order? And what are you going to do? How are you going to communicate to the cashier what you want? Are you going to tell them specifically that you want a baconator and a large fry with a small vanilla frosty? Are you going to just sit there and say and point and say, oh, I want this, I want that? The cashier's not going to know what you're talking about. Don't beat around the bush and be specific. And if you do want a baconator and they give it to you, and then all of a sudden there's ketchup on it, but you clearly don't like ketchup, you need to communicate that as well. I don't like ketchup. It's the same exact thing in a relationship. Tell your partner what you need and what you need from them, what you want, what's expected of them, the whole 9 yards. Because at the end of the day, if you don't communicate these things with your partner, you have yourself to blame for why you're not satisfied. Now, if you're communicating these things with your partner and telling them, these are the things that are going to help me in a relationship and this is what's going to satisfy me, and your partner is still not meeting those expectations, now that's on your partner. That's your partner's fault. But at the end of the day, it's a two-way street. You also have to be meeting your partner's expectations as well. Now, if the two of you are just unsatisfied, then there's no point of being in a relationship, period. Now, another thing I want to talk about, which really bothers me, is when people get into relationships and they're not over their past. There are things that they're not over completely. There are people that have done traumatic things to them in their past and they have not forgiven. And the reason why that bothers me is because when you've gone through some stuff in your past and you have inner demons that you have not faced and fought yet, and you haven't stepped up to the plate and took care of your responsibility, then how do you expect to have a successful, thriving relationship if you still have your own inner demons? Especially if your partner is dealing with the same inner demons as you. There's no way in hell you can sit there and be in a relationship if you have inner demons and problems that you haven't faced or gotten over yet. Work on yourself first before you be in a relationship. Being in a relationship is more than just having your own car and your own house. It's more than that. You also have to be mentally ready. And you can't bring any excessive baggage in a relationship. That's what I want to say. Excessive baggage. And that's not fair to your partner, and it's definitely not fair to you because you're a prisoner in your own body. And when it comes down to these females, don't ever look to a man to show you how to be a woman. You have to, if you wasn't taught that when you were little, I'm sorry, but you have to learn that shit on your own. You cannot learn how to be a woman from a man. You have to learn that on your own. I learned how to be a woman on my own, so y'all should learn how to be a woman on your own. And y'all gotta be mentally ready for a relationship. Don't put your anger, frustration, your sorrows onto your partner, because that is completely not fair. And if the both of you guys are fucked up in the head, then neither one of y'all need to be with each other, realistically speaking. Because at the end of the day, the relationship is not going anywhere. It's kind of like when you try to build a house with somebody and you start off with the foundation and all that, and then you start decorating it, putting the furniture, and you start doing things little by little. You cannot build a house when your vision is so blurry because of the simple fact of you haven't gotten over things in the past. I see that a lot in today's world. I don't understand why people do that. I don't understand it. Please help me understand. Ladies and gentlemen, am I wrong for thinking the way I think? Let me know. Leave a comment below.